Well, now that I finished Judgment for the PlayStation 4, without the E, I don't know if that was intentional or just a typo, and it doesn't matter. The developers who made this game is the same developers that made Yakuza series and Fist of the North Star, and to be honest, I forgot this game even existed. It came out last year and it's in my backlog of games that I haven't played, and now I got time to play it because this year was insane with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, Yakuza Remastered Collection and other games that I review. That's a lot of remake. It just shows you how much people love the old games. But back to the point, this game is set in Kamurocho that was prevalent in the Yakuza series. However, Judgment has no link to Yakuza franchise as a whole, which is a shame, as I wanted to see my favourite characters like Akiyama and Majima. The only thing that's mentioned is the Tojo clan, but that plot isn't the main focus of the overall story. Actually, I just remember something. There's a character from Yakuza that made his appearance in this game, and you wouldn't even guess who it is. I think he was shown in Kiwami 2 or Yakuza 0. I'm not sure which one, but the character I'm talking about is a weird sex demon, latex, gimp mask, look at my butt cheeks and ripped abs dude. In this game he's called Hangman. I'm not sure if that's his original name in Yakuza. This game doesn't have weird Japanese stuff that Yakuza is known for, like Yakuza 0 with its mini games. One more thing before I forget, this is the first game to have English voice acting. Well, if you don't count Yakuza 1 and 2, since they really didn't have much control overseas, till Yakuza 3, 4, 5, 0, 6 and other spin-off came out. I'm talking about the PlayStation 2 version by the way. Judgment looks incredible using the same engine they used in Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2, because that's what the game looks like. Also, they use the same asset as it kinda looks same to Yakuza 6, but with some changes sprinkled around the map. The nightlife is colourful with all the neon lights glaring off it, even though the setting is in Kamurocho. And it's a side story of Yakuza. The city as well, it's like, well, in Yakuza 6, Chinatown gets burnt to a crisp, and in this game it's under construction, when in reality, or in game reality, it shouldn't happen. So that stuck out to me when I realised the connection, meaning that Chinatown shouldn't even be under construction since it never happened. The theme of the story is about justice and how blind it can be, especially when trying to implement it to someone who has a powerful status in society. Now the story follows Takayuki Yagami, who you play as, and you learn that he was a lawyer at first, getting a murderer acquitted after lack of evidence for the crime. Then that same murderer he set free killed his girlfriend, and when you see the scene of the crime, the girlfriend eye looks a bit weird, but it isn't focused as much to the later chapter. And because of that, Yagami left the profession because of the guilt he felt, because he knew the killer's girlfriend as she helped him with the case, and her name was Emi Terasawa, and later became a detective working odd jobs here and there with an ex-Yakuza sidekick Kaito. And when you go on further to the story, you befriend more people like this Vendetta mask guy who is related to Emi, the victim of his first case, and the Yakuza whose name I forgot. Meanwhile, murder starts to happen as it isn't normal. What I mean by that is that the victim have their eyes gouged out as sort of a killer's MO, and the killer is later dubbed as the mole. And every main story case revolves around Yagami's first jury case, and that's all I want to say about the story. There's a lot of twists and turns, some are obvious like the killer associates and stuff like that. When Okubo, the person you acquitted, gets reintroduced to the story, that's when it got good. The story is cinematic like you're watching a noir crime drama mystery film. This game is long as it took me 23 hours to finish the story, and that is mainly due to the side cases that is forced into the main story cases. The pacing in this game is abysmal. I really didn't care as much till all the plot point was connected to the beginning of the story. And the analogy I want to describe the pacing is that imagine you driving a straight road, and that straight road is the main story, only for you without your control turn left to a dead end. That is a side mission, then you have to reverse all the way back and drive again, but this time the car turns right, then you have to reverse and start again, rinse and repeat. I know that I can finish this game in like 10 hours, but there's so many fillers that don't push the story forward. I think they were trying to make this game longer than Yakuza 6, which isn't that long to complete the story. The only long game was Yakuza 5 that took me, what, 15 hours to complete? And another thing, this game hold your hand throughout the entirety of the story for like 98%. And the other 2% of the game just be like, go, you're on your own. Like what? These missions in where it happens just makes the game longer and frustrating to play through, because you just run around the map and just hoping you land into something. I will say that some side missions, or the ones I played, are quite funny. Like for one, you have to chase a wig across the street and give it back to an unlucky person who claims to be an idol. And another instant, when Hoshino is accused of eating Saori's cake, and you have to gather clues and represent him. By the way, these are Yagami's friends. Then of course accusation just flies across the room as they kinda have like a mock court type of thing. Then out of nowhere Yagami just yells out objection. Well, not really objection because it's text based, but we all know what that's supposed to mean. It's a nice reference to Phoenix Wright, and one thing I like about that is that his friend even comment on what the hell are you saying? Are you just saying that for the fun of it? Which to be honest he kinda was, and I was hoping that in the main story he would say that, but I don't think he does, which is unfortunate. And that's enough of me rambling about the story and pacing. Let's talk about the gameplay. So now that you know that Yagami is a detective, you get to do detective things like investigate the scene of the crime and gather clues. The perspective changes from third person to first person, and you can take pictures that help you get one step closer to the killer, or take pictures of stray cat. And when you gather enough evidence, you can interrogate people that were either involved, or you can try and get an alibi. Keep in mind that you can choose different ways to question people, but the outcome is the same. So it doesn't matter if you choose the wrong question, the story is still the same. Plus you can try again when you give the wrong answers, and the only penalty you get is you lose the streak bonus points for every consecutive question that is wrong. But there's one instance in where you play as Sari, Yagami's friend, and you have to interview a doctor and make a scandal out of it. Anyways, I chose the wrong question or the wrong move, and this was the outcome. Okay. It isn't on the same level as L.A. Noire, as that game had consequences. Actually, no, you can just call them out on the bullshit. As for this game, you have to force them to tell the truth psychologically on the spot. And in the story, you go to court twice with all the evidence you gather and defend your client from injustice and bring justice to the corporate scummy assholes. That's not the only thing you can do as a detective. You can tail suspects by keeping a low profile, and this part of the game is boring. As for one instance, you tail a suspicious person later on in the game, and that suspicious person just goes around in circles. Like, what the hell? I know I was trying to be cautious, but my patience ran out. You can infiltrate areas that you're not allowed in to get more evidence or alibi, and in this section you can use lockpicks to open doors and thin wires to open doorknobs, and use drones to scope out the place and then figure out and strategize your next move. And in certain missions you can bug an office while wearing a disguise, and that's one element that is cool in this game. Disguises. There are many, and you can wear them while you enter a building that Yagami everyday clothes is not allowed in, or use disguise to tail someone and keep a low profile. Whenever you see someone you need to talk to, only for them to run away, you have to chase them in a chase sequence. This is mostly on rails, you don't have to do much other than quick time stuff. They try to make it look cool and do parkour kind of stuff, but it's not as good. If you're looking for that type of gameplay, then just play Sleeping Dogs, as that game is excellent in conveying what it's like to do parkour. Well, in game, not in real life. The mini games that are scattered across Kamurocho are relatively the same in Yakuza 6, with a few exceptions, like drone races, in where you race around using drones, obviously. And it's actually fun. You can customize the drone to your liking to make it move faster or look cooler. The other is via Paradise, in where you're inside a game that is kind of like Mario Party. You roll a dice, and whatever number it lands on, let's say 6, you can move 6 times. Keep in mind that you can move forward and backwards, and it counts, meaning you can move forward 6 times, or move forward 3 times and move backwards 3 times to where you were before. I don't know why you would do that, but the option's there. You can collect gifts and money, and in order to redeem them you need to reach the finish line within the amount of times you can roll the dice. The Sega arcade games are the same with Yakuza 6, with one new one that's like House of the Dead arcade. In this game it's called Kamurocho of the Dead, very fitting. In this game there are 5 chapters, or 6, I'm not sure. But either way, I got up to chapter 4 and died, because it gets harder when you progress to the last mission. And that are the new minigames that they introduced. There aren't a lot compared to the previous title, but I don't know why they did this, but they removed my favourite minigames, the karaoke. Like, why? In Yakuza 0, 4 and 5, in where there's multiple protagonists to play as, they can sing. But in here it's non-existent. Like, can't the voice actor for Yagami sing? Or what? It really bummed me out. But then you have to do the English translation as well. You can get records to play in your safe house to regain health, play pinball, that's its own separate entity in game, decorate your room by buying figures and displaying them for the world to see, and out in the city you can make friends, a lot of friends, whether it's a shop clerk or others. You earn city reputation, and I don't know what that does. Also you can get 4 girlfriends. Ooh goody, I can't wait to get fake girlfriends and not real ones. Yay. Judgment combat is very similar in Yakuza 0, as Kiryu Majima had 4 fighting style. And in this game, Yagami has 2 fighting style, the crane style and tiger style. That's a lot of styles. The crane style focus more on crowd control, thinning down the herd, whereas the tiger style focus more on one-on-one combat. I do prefer tiger style over the crane style, because to me it's powerful, and compared to Yakuza 0, there isn't much upgrades in terms of combat, and there are a lot more combos in this game than in previous Yakuza games, so I think that's why there isn't much upgrade you can do. You can add moves to the tiger style and unlock more moves for the EX special moves, It's the same as Yakuza when you perform heat moves, and when Yagami is with Kaito, you can perform tag team special moves that look sick, and Yagami is nimble as he can use parkour abilities in combat, in a sense of that he can use wall runs or leap off mobsters and attack them. When you press R2, Yagami can enter rage mode and he may become stronger. One new system that this game added is that Yagami can suffer from fatal wounds, decreasing your health, as that part cannot be restored. Only using health back or visiting a doctor in underground sewers can help, but it costs a lot to fix, so it isn't wise to constantly getting wounded in battle. You can avoid this by going into rage mode or using wall running techniques. The only thing that can fatally wound Yagami is gunshots, knife attack I think, or when you fight bosses and they go into their rage mode and attack you. So yeah, all in all, play the game if you like Yakuza. It's a shame that it's not set in the same setting, but it's friendly to Western audience as it's dubbed in English, so if you worry about reading subtitles, then just switch to that option, although you probably have to watch awkward lip sync, and that to me is a turn off and immersion breaking. The combat is a lot better than Yakuza 6, that's for sure. The graphics looks beautiful, so if that's your thing, you don't have to worry. The game doesn't have weird Japanese stuff like Yakuza 0 and 6. The characters in the story is alright, I guess. Yagami reminds me a lot of Akiyama. You probably remember some characters when you finish the game, but it definitely needs a sequel for these characters to stand out. The story is slower for the beginning part and the pacing is freaking awful, but when you push through the story when Yagami meets Okubo, you feel like you have to push on because now you know the truth of the story, and that truth is for you to find in this dark mystery that is Judgment without an E. I've been AnimersiveXP, thank you for watching. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and you'll see me in the next video review. Bye bye.
好きだよ青